The Grand Canyon. So much misinformation on YouTube about hiking the Grand Canyon as a day hike that I wanted to clarify it to make it so simple. You do not need to get passes ahead of time. We came in through the east entrance station, which is staffed during business hours of the day, but it's open 24/7. So if you arrive before or after they staff the station, you can still drive through. So if you're planning to do an early morning hike and this isn't staffed yet, it's not closed. You can just drive right by. And then you'll drive all the way past the viewpoints to the visitor center where there is free parking. And then you hop on a shuttle bus. They start an hour before sunrise, and the shuttle bus takes you here, but more importantly, it takes you down this road here because no cars are allowed here. So you take the shuttle bus right to there, to the South Kaibab trailhead, and you start your hike. And then eventually you go down and back, or you can try to do the full day hike even though they don't recommend it. Now let's check out our trip, which looked like this. So we left Bryce Canyon and we drove to the Grand Canyon. Boop. We didn't have a truck, we had a rental car. And we drove all this way. And then we went to right here, which if I flip the map, I get a close-up. There you go. We stayed at a lodge right there. We stayed at the Yavapai Lodge. The only thing I would say about that, I mean, it's like bare minimum hotels, but it didn't have a microwave, which proved to be an issue because the food service areas aren't always open and they don't always have good options, but there is a nice little supermarket around here with a lot of frozen food options, which would have been amazing if we'd had a microwave. So in booking a room, make sure you get a room with a microwave and refrigerator, and it will really help you out. And the next morning, we got up and we drove our car right over here, free parking. We hopped on the shuttle bus and it drove us over, oops, I'll flip back to this map. And it drove us over to here, and then we hiked down, came back up, grabbed the shuttle bus, went back to get our car, and then went back to our hotel room. Now that night, we drove back over to here, and we hiked to Mather Point for the sunset lookout. And then hubby went back again even later to see the star show. They have point out stars and constellations and stuff. And then we slept at the hotel, which was really great because we were tired from hiking. And the next morning we got up and we drove back along this ridge trail, but we stopped at every single lookout point, which will be at the end of this video where I'll show photos of each of those stops. Monday, May 27th, 2024, we arrive at the Grand Canyon. Since we weren't actually hiking the Grand Canyon until the following morning, we had plenty of time to enjoy the views. This is where we pulled over at the Desert View Watchtower. As you can see, Fern came along, posed with the family. The crowds loved it. There were a lot of people here. After finishing up family photos, we found our way to the hotel, explored the area a little bit, and found a cute little grocery store with a raven. Tuesday, May 28th, 2024, day 9 of hiking, the Grand Canyon. Hubby and daughter will be hiking 1 mile down to the Ooh-Ah Point. I'm continuing past Cedar Ridge to Skeleton Point. 4 to 6 hours, plenty of food and water. The most difficult day hike. They don't recommend you go any further than this unless you're camping overnight, which I'm not. It is 7:30 in the morning and we're just waiting for the free shuttle bus to take us to the South Kaibab Trail. 7:55 and we arrive. Woo! A few tweaks to the trekking poles and we're going in. Check it out, we're here. I can't believe we're here. First steps, first steps. I feel like running down, like, whoa, we're going. But I won't do it because I'm very clumsy and I would be the one to fall. Check it out. To the right, ladies and gentlemen, look to the right. It's so vast, it doesn't even look real. Quite a few people here this morning, but I'm guessing most of them are stopping at the ooh-ah. Same as these two, stopping at the ooh-ah. It is a very comfortable 70 degrees heading down into the canyon, but I know that's going to change drastically soon. So I have 4 bottles of water, 4 1-liter bottles of water in my backpack side pockets, and I have a 3/4 liter bottle on my chest strap. So I am loaded down with enough water for myself and for kiddo because she doesn't have a backpack today. I'm carrying that weight for her. I also have her snacks. We are passing by signs that show people like puking on the trail going, make sure you have enough water because you could die down here. We're not gonna die. It's all smiles and bubblegum until it's 90 degrees out. Let me just show you a good sweeping view. Ta-da! This trail is deceptively easy right now, but I'm trying to imagine what it's going to be like climbing out of this in 90 degrees. Look at that. It won't be easy, but that's okay, because if it was easy, everybody would do it, and it wouldn't be as cool. Look at this trail. I know I keep sweeping over to look to the left, but I can't help it. I should mention, I'm only going to film going down to Skeleton Point, and then I'm going to pocket this phone and focus all of my attention on getting back out of this canyon again.
Yeah, look.
Yeah, there's a flower in it too.
I bet those are prickly pears.
They are prickly pears.
Are they actually?
Have you ever heard of people getting so excited over cactus flowers and prickly pears? That's the kind of people we are. Check this out, though. I come from a land of foresty trees. I just am not used to seeing this far. It all looks like a backdrop with my family in it. We're still moving at a pretty good clip. Quite a few other people here. I'm guessing we're not far now to the ooh-ah point. And I am enjoying every minute of these views. You're probably not at home watching this, but like, stop swinging out to the left.
How do we know when we've made it to the beginning?
You'll know.
Is there a sign?
Yep. It's very, you'll know it. It's amazing all on its own. You'll know.
How far out is it?
Check out this trail, though. We just finished those steps, and now we're in this well-defined path lined with stones. And look up at this cliff to our right. Crazy, right? And remember, down to our left is another sheer drop, so it's good that this is a nice wide trail. Mostly. It's like a train track, right? Look at that. So much fun. Since I'm only filming on my way down, I want to include as much footage as possible on my way there. So if this journey seems long, it's just because I don't want to cut anything out. I want you to see as much of it as possible, as if you were really here. When you round the corner and see this, you know you are almost there. Check out this trail. Ooh-ah Point up ahead. Taking a pack-off break and climbing up to see this viewpoint. This is so unbelievable. Look down there. Let's creep up a little closer to this edge here. It's actually safer than it looks on camera, so don't worry, I'm not gonna fall. All right, hubby and Keep are heading back up to the top, and I'm gonna continue down to Cedar Point. And oh, look at this, more cactus. And then as long as everything still feels good, I'm going to continue on my goal towards Skeleton Point. Check out these stairs. How much fun are these? Most of the people turn back at Ooh-ah. There's just a couple of us heading down now. But it is so quiet here. Vast and quiet. Except for the occasional raven caw. Harbingers of doom. Look at that. Unreal. But let me just say, we just passed by someone coming up who looked like he was at death's door and couldn't make it any further down than Cedar Ridge. So this party is getting real. But I'm still feeling really good. It is getting hotter out here. It's probably in the 80s now. Look at these stairs though, and check out this view. I feel bad that hubby and Keep are missing it, but they'll see it in the video too. Wow. Coming down to Cedar Ridge. Check it out. We are here and I am feeling great, so I am definitely continuing on to Skeleton Point. This trail has become even more quiet, and the only few people I'm seeing coming up do not look good. But I still feel good, even though I have to climb that on the way back out. It's not daunting at all. Look at this, though. This is what we've come for. And I've been drinking plenty of water on the way down. Look at this hike right here. Have you ever seen the likes of this before? Sorry if I'm spinning too much, but I just want to show you what I'm seeing, and I don't know how else to do it. Look at all this. Look at it. Just breathtakingly unreal. Look at this ledge here. See these pockets of shade? They're going to be my reprieve on the way back up for sure. It's absolutely quiet down here. There's no sound in the Grand Canyon. I thought there'd be like howling winds or something. Nothing. Just vast emptiness. And a lot of spinning. Sorry. Check out this Dr. Seussian tree right here. Look at this. That is so cool. Which fits in perfectly with my wacky outfit of a sun hoodie, visor, and sunglasses. I'm like a human umbrella. I should mention, I took a backpack off break and sat down with some very well-rested people who I thought were also going down to Skeleton Point. But then they assured me they were going up, and it is not that bad if you just go at a good pace, keep cool and hydrated. So I feel a lot better. The other thing I want to mention that I've never heard before is people's skin when they're walking by looks bluish silver, which at first I was like, what am I passing out? I feel fine. But then I thought about it, and I think it must have to do with the lighting in the canyon, which is so bizarre. But look at this, we're here, Skeleton Point. Ta-da! I see a few people sitting around here taking a break, but this is full sun and it is probably 90 degrees right now. So I don't think this is a good place to sit and take a break because I don't want to overheat before I go back up. But I do want to take a look over the ledge here because this is the point where you can see the Colorado River below. And I'm going to find it. Since I can't hike down to it on this trip, I want to at least look at it. And it should be right over here. There it is. Oh, there it is. See it? Ta-da! Colorado River. Woohoo! So we've reached the end of my filmed journey down to Skeleton Point, and now it's time to turn around and head all the way back up there, where I will see you at the top. Hopefully. No, definitely. Without a doubt. I took 2 nice breaks on the way up for about 5 minutes and then spent the rest of the time tucking in and out of shade pockets. Had no trouble at all, smiled the whole way, plenty of water. I am making it up to the top now. Woohoo! We are nearing the end. Here we go. A little further.
You need a bandana?
It's so cool out here.
South Kaibab Trail to Skeleton Point, 6.4 miles. They say it takes 4 to 6 hours. It took me 4 hours and 15 minutes. And that very evening, we hiked over to Mather Point to see the sunset. And then Wednesday, May 29th, 2024, we exited the Grand Canyon, but on the way, we visited every single scenic viewpoint. And coming up now for the grand finale are all those photos and videos, and stay tuned for the last one because it's the best one. So now that I'm home from our West Coast hiking trip and I'm working on this Grand Canyon video, I realized at the end that I made it sound really easy, and it was really easy for me, but remember, I had been hiking 20 miles a day for January, February, March, April, 4 months before going on the trip, even 4.5 months. I'd done almost 2,000 miles this year before going on that trip. So for me, physically, it was not a challenge going up and down the canyon. The issue coming out was the heat, but to handle that, every time there was shade against those pockets of shade against the rocks, I kind of leaned into those, drank water, let my body cool down for 30 seconds, and then got back on trail. So I never overheated, which was really important. I didn't see many people doing that on the way out. They were just pushing their way out and not stopping. I also took 2 breaks where I took my pack off and actually sat down in the shade. I didn't pull out my camera at those times because I really just wanted to enjoy that moment for what it was. But I do want to stress, I had 4 liters of water and another bottle of 3/4 liter. One my kid took with me when she went out, so I still had almost 4 liters of water, and I ended with almost a liter left. But I was drinking a lot of water. I was just sipping it all the way down and all the way back up to stay hydrated. I saw on the way out, which I didn't film, were a lot of people coming down without water at all. I saw families with small children coming down with 0 water. At one point, a woman asked me, like, oh, is the Colorado River far from here? And I was like, oh, you are miles from that. And do you have any water? And she said, no. I said, you shouldn't even be this far. Really? And I was like, I was surprised how unprepared people were. And when I came up to Cedar Ridge, there were just people like looking like they were in the midst of heat exhaustion all over that plateau, tucked under the shade, the little bits of shade under the bushes. They looked like death warmed over because they had gone too far down to that point and were having trouble getting back out. And when I made it to Ooh-Ah Point, there were 2 rangers there, and they were actually checking people and asking how much water do you have? Because at that point, it was the middle of the day. It was like 97 degrees. And they were saying to people, you can't go down. You don't have enough water. You need at least 3 liters of water. Turn around and get out. And most of them only had like a little tiny water bottle, if anything at all. So when the rangers saw me coming, they were like high five, and they were really pleased to see I had all the right gear. I know it looked goofy, but I had a sun hoodie on, a wide brimmed visor, and sunglasses just to keep that heat off of me. And that sun hoodie is amazing. It is cooling. If you don't know anything about them, look them up because they are not hot at all. So they were high-fiving. As I went up further, they saw me again when I was taking a quick break in the shade, and they high-fived me again, and they called me like, hey, shade girl, there you go, that's how you do it. And they were just thrilled that I was one of the few prepared people that day. And I said, hey, you know what, I'm watching the lizards do this. They run in the sun and then tuck in the shade and then run in the sun. They know what they're doing. They live there. So I'm just going to copy those lizards. And they just thought that was really great. But they did tell me that about every other day, rescue helicopters do come in and have to pull people with heat exhaustion out of that canyon most of the time because they don't have enough water or they haven't taken enough breaks along the way. And just so you know, those helicopter rides aren't free. You get charged like $50,000 for that rescue trip. So you don't want to be doing that. And later that day, we did see the choppers going down in there to pull people out. So it is, even though I made it seem like, oh, this is really easy and really fun, remember I had trained for 2,000 miles of hiking before that. And I had tons of water on me. I had the right clothing on me to protect myself from the sun. And I didn't go further than the recommended day hike, which is down and back from Skeleton Point, which ended up being 6.4 miles. People who try to go all the way down and all the way up, which is what I wanted to do, but I didn't because my family couldn't do it. But in retrospect, I realized I could have done it, but it would have been exhausting. And do I really want my Grand Canyon trip to be utterly exhausting? No, I want it to be fun and enjoyable, and that's what it was. So just to clarify, do not take that hike for granted. Do not let my videos make you think that that was a simple task for just anybody. Prepare yourself physically, have the right gear on you, have the right amount of food and water for your snacks. I was eating dried sugar-coated pineapple. Every other water I drank had a Propel powder in it. And I also had protein cookies, Quest protein cookies, chocolate chip flavor. They're soft chew and I find them easier to eat than any kind of crunchy granola. So that was how I prepared, and hopefully you do not go down on that hike without being prepared yourself. But still, I highly recommend it. It was everything we'd hoped it would be and more. So signing out, Mach Mom.
Things are scary, cemetery, ready with obituary. Mom.
How cool is he? There's shade
Oh,
here.
he's gonna fly in the window.
House Ravenclaw rules.
Ravenclaw!
It's gonna shapeshift right into the car. Could have died.
I think those are raven noises.
All right, do this. Peacock. Peacock. Do you speak peacock?
Tweet, tweet.
Toodle-dee-dee-dee-dee, toodle-dee-dee-dee-dee.
Eventually we'll figure out.